This is Mike Regan with Transact's 2-minute warning for the week of July 21st. With the new LTL classification rules in effect, we're taking a look at how these changes could affect your LTL freight cost in the future. Well, for the past several months, folks, we have been using these 2-minute warnings to alert shippers to the fact that the NMFTA, the governing body that determines the rules for LTL shipments, has made significant changes in the classification rules that will impact your LTL freight cost in the future. They're doing this to move to more of a density-based pricing system. Now, with that thought in mind, we've gotten some questions from folks saying, well, now that July 19th has come, the date that these rules have gone into effect, what are the things we need to know? Well, first of all, on an immediate basis, these changes are unlikely to affect your LTL cost, and the reason for that is because every carrier that we've talked to, and here at Transact, we have a phenomenal network of carriers, and also we've been talking to some of the senior executives from the LTL carriers. They are going to honor the terms of the existing contract. So the rules that were in effect prior to July 19th will continue to be in effect until your new round of contracts come into effect. So whether that's 1 month out, 3 months out, 6 months out, eventually the carriers will put these new rules into effect. Now, with these new rules in effect, here's some things that you really need to know, and that is the amount of data that the carriers have is typically going to be much better than data that the shippers have. With that thought in mind, there is one piece of information that many shippers do not have today, but that you will eventually have to have, and that is the size or dimensions of the freight. Now, for those of you who are saying, well, how do we do that? You expect us to take a tape measure? There are things like freight dimensionalizers and things like that that are extremely cost effective, and if you don't have the dimensions of the product being moved, the freight being moved, you're going to be basically relying on the carrier, and it will be very difficult to audit that. In essence, you will be accepting their numbers, not yours, which is why we have some things that you need to be aware of, and that's why we moved to item number 3, and that is to talk about Transact's LTL strategic assessment. Not only can we come up with options and alternatives about how you manage these changes, it's also proven to be effective in helping our customers even reduce their LTL costs, despite the fact that LTL rates are going up. How do we do that? Well, we help you understand how to be more lean, efficient, and effective to lower your cost to serve for the carriers. And we've proven it in the negotiations that we've been doing for the past several months. The carriers are very receptive to having a discussion on rates if you can do things that help them serve you better at a lower cost. Now, if you're interested in learning more about this LTL strategic assessment or other options and alternatives about how these changes will affect your company, send me an email, give me a call. Let's get together via Calendly, because with each and every 2-minute warning, we're here to remind you we're on your team, here to help, passionate about seeing you be successful. Thanks for your time.